There's two big things I want to get done today. One is cutting off all the tops of our fence posts that we left from building it. The other is getting this barn cleaned. The buffalo are kind of wrapping down breeding season. I've noticed that Coyote is not acting like he's in rut as much, and the girls seem like they're calmed down a little bit too. So we'll see next year how many we actually have bred. I don't know if we'll have all 5. Typically the first year, you know, you can have maybe half or a couple of them. But I really doubt that all 5 will be bred, but it would be nice if that does happen. This area over here, the buffalo really like to hang out on. It's really rocky, and I think that's why, so there might be a fair amount of minerals. There's a big pile of lime that my brother-in-law dumped right here, and I've noticed a lot of the buffalo have been rolling in that lime. The first time that we let him out, Coyote went over to that lime and just completely covered in it. It was pretty funny. He looked like a white buffalo covered in lime. This whole area has been dug up by the previous owner, and he's just used some of these rocks for different patios, different things like that. And I think it's got a lot of minerals because of those rocks. I think that's why they hang out. They really, really like this area though. You can always see them lazing around, which is kind of fun because it's beside the driveway and you get to check up on them. It's kind of funny because the areas that you would think buffalo would not like this whole mound right here, they have just been attracted to it. There's a bunch of weeds on the top of it, and I don't know what it really is. It's just a various different weeds, stalky plants, but they just went crazy over that whole mound. That used to be an old pit silo, they call it, to where there was 2 mounds on either side and then the back side, and they would put grain and silage in it and they would let it ferment and then pull it out. And one of the sides has been demolished and it's kind of put over to that side. But what's funny is they go to that hill all the time and they're constantly breaking it down and eating on that all that stalky plant. Well, let's see if the old generator starts. Hasn't been started in a few months. And then we'll take and chop the tops of these posts off and keep moving down the line. Shouldn't take too long. Don't expect it to be a terrible job, but everything is always like that. You never know until you get into it. Well, it might be a little bit shorter job today because I don't think I'm going to be able to finish with this blade. I have one more blade left. That was a brand new blade, and those 3 posts went through quite a bit, probably half of that. We'll get done what we can. Unfortunately, out here in the middle of nowhere, we don't have a Home Depot or anything like that close by. So I will wait till the next time we go to the city. So we'll get done as much as we can today and then finish the rest later, which seems like every project I've done lately, but it is what it is when you're in the country. I like to do my best and support local businesses like little hardware stores and stuff like that, and most of the time I do, but a lot of tools that I use, the little tiny hardware stores don't carry, unfortunately. It's really kind of sad. A lot of the big stores have put a lot of the small town stores out of business, or they've just made them really kind of rendered ineffective almost. So they only really have stuff for small, you know, small little tools here and there, but nothing really you can get real big projects done with. This excursion gets used so little these days, it's actually collecting spider webs. 2 more done. Running out of cutting wheel. Might go up to a local hardware store, see if they have any, or we might wait. Not sure yet. got some other stuff I can get done today. Jamin over at Soldier Creek Bison, he suggested that I leave these long and take and put swallow boxes on them for the flies, which is a good idea. But problem with that is I have honeybees out here, as you guys know, and they say, I've got on the bee forums, and basically everybody agrees that swallows eat a lot of honeybees, but half of them say that it's enough to decimate a whole hive, and then half of them say that it's not enough to really hurt a hive that bad. So honestly, I think I'm going to play it safe, because we're going to try to get a couple more hives out here, and you guys saw that we already lost a hive. So I'm going to cut these off, and then in the future, if we want to put swallow boxes, I'll probably put them on the T-posts. That's if I can determine whether or not they're going to be that bad of a culprit for the bees. If they're not, then I would like to get swallow boxes out here, but for now, I just don't know, and I need to find out someone who does, and maybe one of you guys do, and leave a comment if you do. Let me know what your thoughts are. So for now, these need cut. Well, 3 more down. Got a new blade put on that last one. So maybe we'll be able to get, maybe 5, 6 more left before we have to change projects or change blades. Well, that's the end of that. At least I know how many cutting wheels I need. We'll get those next time I go into the city. I won't worry about it now. We'll jump on to another project. Ran up to buddy of mine's and replaced the spindle on my mower. So now I need to just get that spindle back on the mower. We got all the pulleys switched out and everything like that. So I'm gonna get in here, see if we can get that spindle on. And then after that, it'll be time to clean the barn. Buffalo are hanging out up by the yard. Always like it when they're up by the house. It's 95 degrees out and they feel like getting a suntan, I guess. Not that they're very white, but I don't know what it is. I really am curious sometimes what they feel, because they don't seem like they feel cold and they don't seem like they feel heat. They're already getting their winter coat right now, and so their back end is not as slick as what you would think in the summertime, but yet it doesn't seem like it really bothers them with the heat. There have been some studies shown that, you know, heat does bother them to a certain extent, but I don't know, they don't really seem to care. Majestic creatures. Well, I don't know how much we're gonna get done on this barn after all, because a buddy of mine just called me and he's out combining. It is harvest season in our neck of the woods, and I've got a little boy, just turned 5, and he thought it might be fun to bring my boy out there and let him ride in combine for a couple hours. So I think we'll do that instead of cleaning the barn and leave the barn for tomorrow. Sounds fine with me. After, that is, I can get this mower together, and then we might do a little barn cleaning, then call it an evening. It's been sitting up on its end for a week waiting for that spindle. Wanted to make sure the oil's good. Well, the spindle's on. let's put the cover on and see how she does. This thing is dirty. It's due for a cleaning. Well, she works good. Everything looks good, so we'll come back to it, clean it up a bit, and finish some honeydews with it. I don't think this barn's gonna happen today though. I think I'm gonna take my son over to my buddies and we'll jump in the combine for the rest of the evening. That'll be fun. I think we'll tackle this tomorrow. Well, it's time to get the barn cleaned today. Heidi and the kids are gonna be coming over here shortly, and we'll see if we can just knock it all out in one fell swoop. Took my boy out to my buddies last night, and we rode in the combine for a little while. And my boy's 5 years old, my oldest boy, and he definitely wants a combine now. He had a blast. So let's see what we can get done. I want to see if I can get some of this area cleaned out, and I'd love to take and bring my shuttle bus I've got over there inside here. That's actually a future project of mine. I want to turn that into an RV. I bought that, it was a while ago, for pretty cheap, and runs great, and I'd like to gut the whole thing and turn it into an RV, but I can't do that until I get this cleaned out and I have a space for it, and then we can start gutting it. And also, I've just got to get this place cleaned up, organized for all my tools, so we can start getting some of these projects done. We started a little bit on it last night, and so it's a little bit of a disarray, but let's see if we can just knock it all out. Well, that was quite the task, but it's mostly done. Big help that my wife and kids were. Man, it was a lot more stuff than I thought. We've got this whole area on the side cleaned out that I'm gonna try to pull that bus into. I still need to go through some of the stuff on this side, and then we've got this massive load of just metal that's gonna be going to the scrapyard, and there's a few loose ends over here I need to take care of, but it's mostly there. So let's see if we can get this trailer hooked up to the Excursion, pull this out of here, and cross our fingers and see if that bus will start. I haven't started it in a long time, so we'll see if she starts up and I can pull it into the barn. I've had the bus on the charger all day, so hopefully the battery will be full and ready to go. It says it is, but not sure if it's a good battery or not. We shall find out in 1 minute. Here goes nothing. She starts. Now let's see if she rolls. Hey. Good old reliable bus. It'll be fun to see this thing turned into a camper. Well, she fits in. As you can hear, it's not quite running right. I think the AC compressor is bad on it, and then there's some coil packs on it that's causing it to miss out a little bit. That's one of the reasons why I got it so cheap, but it runs, it just doesn't run quite right. So I got a little bit of engine work to do on it, and the rest of it is mainly cosmetic. The whole inside, we've got some stuff in it now, but the whole inside is gonna get gutted, and then the exterior, well, the inside's gonna get gutted, and then beds, kitchen sinks, all that bathroom is gonna be put into it. Really kind of a compact RV is what I wanna make it into. And then the outside's gonna get redone also. I'm not sure what color I wanna paint it, but that's one of my many projects. What I really wanna do to it, and I don't know if it will happen or not, to be quite honest, but what I really want to do to it is I want to rip out the whole underside of it and put a F550 chassis on it that's a 4x4 and lift it a little bit. That way it would be off-road capable, and that would be really nice because it would be nice to have something that we can do some overlanding trips on. I really like going out and RVing, but I don't really like RV parks in particular, so I like to get out away from just people, just the crowds and the hustle and bustle, and just get out where it's quiet. And so it would be nice to have something that's 4x4 capable, but that is a feat in itself. Getting it turned into an RV is one thing, turning it into a 4x4 vehicle is another. So I don't know if I'll go that far on it or not, but that would be the dream. Well, it's slow, but it's coming. Starting to take shape, I feel like, a little bit. Starting to get a little bit more organized. One of you guys left a comment, a couple days ago, and you said that it took like 20 or 25 years to get your farm set up. And that was actually really encouraging because a lot of times I feel like I'm just drowning. We went from our one farm to where we were halfway set up, and then like 3.5, 4 years later, we moved. And then this is a reset, and this is a way more reset than our first place. Our first place was an old dairy farm that we had to really just kind of shape back up. This is just, our first place was 60 acres that had nothing on it, and then we just bought this, our neighbor's property, which is 20 acres, but then it has some facilities, but they're really broken down. There's a lot of stuff that's been half done, no really running water, the electricity is really hodgepodge, just all sorts of stuff that we're dealing with on this, a lot of junk that we're having to clean up. As you can see, all this stuff in front of the barn, all this has just been left, so we've just got a lot of cleanup that we're still just constantly doing, and then trying to keep up with all the maintenance. So there's a lot to do. I'm not complaining at all, just a lot to do. So it's taking a little bit longer. Anyway, I think at this point, that trailer right there, I was going to take it in and take it to the scrapper today, but I missed the cutoff. They closed at 5, and it's like 4:45 right now, so I'm not gonna make it. So we'll take that in either tomorrow or the next day, and then some of this stuff in the front I still got to gather up, and we've got all sorts of stuff in the weeds over there. You can see there's piles of junk that we've got to pull out. Some of it I might wait till the winter so that the weeds die down and I can actually see what's in there, because I don't want to go in there and mow and then end up getting hung up on something. So some of it we're just kind of taking in stages. But right now, I think I'm gonna go out and get some more ice for our homemade ice cream makers. Heidi's making a whole bunch of ice cream for, there's a festival in a town close to ours that they always do in the fall. And our church requests people to make homemade ice cream. So Heidi's making 3 or 4 gallons of it. So that'll be fun. I think she's doing like a pralines and cream, and then a Butterfinger. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a blast. She's got that other channel that's running. If you guys are interested in watching anything like that, she's not gonna have anything she's not gonna have those ice cream deals on that channel. But she does actually make ice cream on that channel, and it's kind of fun. So it's called Buffalo Country Life, and you can check that out if you want to. Otherwise, the buffalo are out here roaming, and you can see it looks like Red Prairie's coming to check things out. So she's been always our friendly cow, and I think she always will be. She's really a nice animal, and she's a really good conformation animal too. So I'll leave you guys with that. We'll see you guys next time.